tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Come on, show.
Hey, guys. We believe in miracles here. I think all the sweet, sexy things are on that side of the table. But thank you guys for tuning in to Resurrection here at AFTERBUZZ TV. We're talking about an episode called Miracles.
Yes, hence the song, I Believe in Miracles.
You guys can just sing the whole time.
We'll sing the entire after show.
I hope you like this song, guys. We went through a lot to get this song on the air right now. We paid the rights and the dues and all of that. It's on.
Uh-oh. I know I forgot to do something. I was making a bad joke. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm your host, Zach Wilson. Tonight's fantastic panel.
Woo!
G. Madison.
What's up?
And Chelsea Briche.
Hi.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. Let's dive in.
Let's do it.
To the miracles within this episode.
Did you like it?
I thought this was one of the best episodes this season.
Okay.
How did you guys feel?
I could second that. How about you?
I'm on board.
I thought that the pace, the big thing, the pace in this episode is finally at a good point. Like it's a lot of the season's been really slow and just waiting for something to happen. And it's just like, okay, when's something crazy gonna happen? Let's do something fun. And then this episode, there's tons of stuff going on.
There are like 5 or 6 bangers. Huh?
Yeah, we've got Rachel sick in the hospital and like people sneaking drugs in. We've got Margaret doing like corporate espionage, dating with Mr. Addison.
Who's much younger.
Bellamy
if you think about it.
finally outs himself. Meanwhile, and Ray and Carl are causing all kinds of trouble.
Yes.
But let's start out. Let's talk about Rachel and Tom and Janine.
Yeah, I like that
our little love triangle.
Do you? You like them?
Yeah, I like them.
I can't decide.
Well, it's very dynamic. It's an interesting.
Maybe that's it. It's so interesting because I just keep trying to put it back to like actual real life, and I just can't even begin to wrap my mind around
the moment he smiles. He's excited to see that she's okay.
Right.
You're like looking at the wife.
I really want to in the beginning of the episode, especially this one, I was all for it. And I was like, wow, they finally have gotten to a place where this is just the most bizarre situation and we're good. But then as it went on, we like see Tom, without Janine connecting with Rachel again at an emotional level, I can't lose you again. Or when he's so happy to see her in different things. And then Janine, it's like, I believe that she has their best interests. But then now I feel like it becomes totally selfish that she wants this kid so bad. And that I don't know.
It's a lot going on.
Not right.
Well, I just like to see Pastor Tom really fight for something. You know what I mean? I really was happy to see that he just all of it came out on the table. And I know that we know that they were together before and he has a thing for her. But this time, I think we really got a chance to see how much he's really going to miss her and how he cannot lose her, even while he's laying in bed with his wife,
Right.
And she knows it and he knows it. And then here they are playing with, she could actually lose her life. He actually showed all of it. And you could see it when he was, actually cussing and this whole world's going to hell and all of this. He said a whole bunch of stuff. And it was just really, it really hit me in a spot where I said, okay, Pastor Tom is a real man. He's really loving this woman and he doesn't want to lose her. And before I thought maybe he just liked her, or really liked her. But now it's like, it's all out there. It's nice to see Tom fight for it. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, and I mean, he's dealing with a lot, I think, from both sides, because he's got Janine's acting a little bit weird in this episode.
She is.
Yeah.
let's talk about her, because she's all kinds of crazy right now. That moment when she's like first of all, she's talking to Tom, and she's like, "Oh, I'm very we're very lucky. We're very lucky to have all this." And then, but later when she's sitting there at Rachel's bedside,
rubbing the belly,
with her rubbing the belly, and we think she's talking about like, God's gonna get you through this. It's gonna be okay. We think she's talking about Rachel,
right?
Like he's gonna, but no.
But if you notice when they have that scene and Rachel's in the hospital bed, and Janine's talking, she's not talking to Rachel. She's not looking at Rachel. If you watch, she's looking directly at the baby. It's like as if Rachel's face isn't even. Yeah. Which I just.
Why does she want the baby so much?
Because she can't have
She can't have kids.
Yeah.
Why does she? No. Why does she want her husband's baby with another woman? Why does she want that baby?
Because she can't have one herself. So this is a way to have for Tom to have his baby, and then she'll raise it as her own. What she thinks is that
she's gonna kick Rachel up to the curb.
Well, I think what she's thinking in this episode is that she can't have kids.
Right.
God, that's just the way it is. So God sent Rachel back
to give them,
to be a vessel to give them a kid. And then Rachel's just gonna die from this virus right afterwards.
I think so too. Oh man,
it's so sketchy. But I'm pretty sure exactly what's going through her mind.
I totally agree with you.
But she looked really happy when Rachel came too.
But I think it's only for selfish reasons.
To make sure you have this baby. Okay. That hurts. That's sad.
Yeah, I don't know.
Janine is just on a one-track mind.
Yeah.
Is that what you think?
Yeah, I think she doesn't care about Rachel. She's pretending to for her husband, and because like she can't be like, yeah, she's gonna die, and then we're gonna get the baby for us. Like she can't say that.
But when they're in the little chapel area in the hospital, she made some comment. She's like she said something along the lines of like our baby or the baby for us. Or whatever. And even Tom, he's like, what?
Us.
Yeah,
us.
He's like, wait, what do you mean us?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of didn't go anywhere from there.
Yeah.
Here, Chelsea, just step back from your mic a little bit and tap the wire.
I can't.
Have a little technical difficulties.
Yeah, major technical difficulties.
Yeah, so I apologize for the humming, guys. Just a little fault in the wire, but hopefully it should be clear enough.
You want to share?
No. Hold on to your mic. But no worries, we'll keep going. But so then the big thing, then Tom wants to save the day. He really wants to cure her, and so the debate becomes drugs or no drugs.
And we want to be clear, we're not talking about roofies or heroin or any of my favorite, other people's,
But we're also not talking about something innocuous like like drugs you would normally get before childbirth.
Right.
Or in a hospital. This is an unknown drug. And especially during pregnancy, things can have side effects on the baby so easily and affect their entire life.
Right.
So how did you guys feel? What do you think was the right thing to do?
To let
without knowing that she eventually got healthy.
Without knowing that, I think the right thing to do was to let Rachel decide.
Well, I'm talking about you're absolutely right. It was Rachel's decision.
But for her to keep her decision and not be bamboozled or coerced or convinced otherwise, just give me all the information, let her make the decision, which I thought was getting kind of touched before because people kept jumping in on her. But is that what your question is?
No, actually, I'm saying from Rachel's perspective.
What should
if
she
you're
do?
in Rachel's shoes, should she take the drugs or should she not?
And there's silence on the air.
Yeah.
It's a tough question because it's impossible to know. And I think that's really what she's struggling with. But the known of if I don't take the drugs and she dies, but the baby survives, then she feels like she's done her part in the world.
Yeah, and it's a tough question, not only because of those two elements, but also the element of the things that have been happening in Arcadia are not by the book. So there's also the spiritual realm of what could happen, and I think that she obviously was connected to that. But that's why there's so much at hand here. It's not just does this drug work or not, but it's, do I want to trust this drug or do I want to trust my savior or my God or faith. You know what I mean? So she had a lot going on other than just, does this drug work or not? You know what I mean?
First of all, can you guys hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Great. Love that. I don't think necessarily Rachel's hanging on to any faith or anything in that aspect. I just feel like she's having some sort of intuition, as we've seen that I don't even want to say necessarily mother intuition, because I don't think, she's like, I know that my baby's going to be okay. But she was so at calm and so at peace, and it didn't seem as if, she needed to sit down and write a pro-con list on the situation. She just felt what she knew she wanted to do, and that was kind of that.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to die right there. Especially,
I thought we might have lost her.
Yeah, not just because of the blood, but I could just I could count it down, because that was the first evidence, of other people that had been gone, especially the other mom that left last episode, because she chose to, right? She chose that it was, so I felt like she was choosing, hey, whatever happens, happens, and so that's when I was like, no, make a decision, but.
Well, I mean, that still might happen, because she sort of, I think she would be okay with leaving if she had given birth to the baby already, but she has to stay to have. Part of me thought they were gonna turn around, and when they're like,
the baby was gonna be there,
like the baby was gonna be on the bed and Rachel's gone.
Well, no, I didn't think that far, but I do have a quick question, I guess technical question. Maggie said when she was talking to Tom when he went in her office and closed the door and was like, please give her the drugs, and she said that decision isn't up to you. Is that because they're not legally married, or is she just saying that that's just
even if
not
they were
your
married,
decision?
it wouldn't be.
Yeah, I think even if they were legally married, it would.
It's her.
She's not. If she was unconscious, or they felt that she could not make the decision herself, then the spouse would. And I think that they might even defer to him as he's her emergency contact or whatever.
Right. Okay.
But because she's fully conscious, she can make the decision herself. It's her body. She has the absolute right to decide what drugs she takes.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
But yeah, so it was, and then so when when Bellamy comes up and is like, we can give her the drugs ourselves, that's insanity, and it's very wrong.
And even in there, it looked like high school. It looked like they were sneaking.
Yeah. Well, they were being really shady.
Yeah.
I mean, they were sneaking into a hospital room and injecting a patient with an unknown drug, effectively.
And of course, they get caught.
Yeah. Thank God she forgot her keys, because we don't know what would have happened. But now she's healthy. She's doing good.
I just feel like that's not going to last for too long.
And we still don't know. That's the thing. We still don't know if the drug would have. You know what I mean? We still don't know how powerful that drug, or how consistent the drug is, I should say.
We still don't know what the deal with the drug is. We still don't know how we know that it could kill a living person.
Right.
Because of what's going on with Ray. But the other big thing that happened to Rachel in this episode, was right at the top and then came right back at the end as the book to bookmark, or bookend rather, this episode, was Rachel's dream.
Yeah, that's how we started the episode.
Crazy dream.
And it just shows again how connected the returned are.
Yeah.
Because we started the episode out with looking at her dream, and she's wandering through the factory. It looks like the factory as we know it, abandoned, just dirty, nothing's going on.
Right.
Except for then we get to the one room where all of the workers are stuck inside being burned alive.
Yeah, she walks up to the doorknob, and the doorknob steams, burns her hand, and we see the smoke coming out there. It was really intense. I love the way that they showed it.
Did anyone else think, and so we saw young Margaret as we find out.
Yeah, skipping through.
Did anyone else think that it seemed like they intentionally locked them in there?
Oh yeah, of course. I totally think that.
Oh.
Not an accidental fire,
and
but
not only
they actively killed these
people. Yeah, no,
of
course, especially when we see Margaret there and she's not even impressed with it. She's like, these people are burning.
She has no, but you can't.
This is my feeling.
Cool.
My feeling is that she didn't care if people were gonna die, if people were dying. She's like, yeah, there's people burning in there. Are they gonna die? Yeah, some of them will. And you're pregnant. You know what I mean? It was like
But you have to think about her character. When has she ever shown any sort of sympathy? Not been this monotone, cruel, just stern woman.
Yeah. Well, they were locked in there. I think they were locked in there. But not only that, but then we learned later on all the things we learned. One being that I don't think they were And I don't think they were stuck. I think they were locked in there. I think that was the difference for me. What did you think?
I thought it was a sort of like a triangle. What was the factory in the 20s? I believe it was 20s or 30s. The triangle paper factory or textile. It was the textile factory that was like very high up on the ground and a lot of people died in a fire. I apologize for not being able to remember the exact name of the factory, but it was what led to a union movement because the safety conditions were so horrible that people couldn't even get out
when it was burning. Maybe someone will send us a message on that. Let us know, guys, if you guys know what that is.
So maybe it wasn't that they were intentionally burned, but because the safety conditions were so bad that they just couldn't get out. There was no, you don't have that fire door.
Yeah.
Or sprinkler system or anything like that to protect if something goes
At that
wrong.
point in the episode, I think we could say that. But as we learn that this man is unhappy and he's mad, I don't think it was because he died. I think it was because he was trapped. He was trapped in there on purpose. And I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and with Margaret skipping through, I mean, there's a reason why we see her. I think it's all going to come together. I can't wait.
Yeah. Well, there's something definitely off about the way that he died. He could be angry for reasons that were not necessarily in the Langston's control, except maybe they were cutting corners.
Oh, I think it's totally Langston's. That's why they're coming back.
He absolutely blames the Langstons. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
What I mean is, like, it could have been a thing where they didn't try to kill these people. They cut corners on safety and stuff like that, so it resulted in people dying. But part of me thinks that it was like they chose these people. Like, you're all gonna die.
Yeah, it was 4 of them. I bet those are the same bones that we found later on. I'm sure that all this is coming together.
Yeah.
Maybe it's 3 of those people that came back.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because Margaret says, are they, Rachel asks, are they all going to die?
Some of them will.
Some of them, yeah. So maybe it's only a few of them actually died and the rest.
Yeah, she knows exactly who they are.
She knows exactly what's going on.
Yeah. Oh, it's her memory, as she says. But the other thing that I thought was she says that's going to be a very important baby. Your child's going to be very important.
Yeah.
But I also feel like that has to, not that's necessarily been said, but that's almost a given. I mean, the child is being born from someone who's been brought back to life. Like, the baby has to be special or important, whatever it may be. It's not just going to be a normal child. Yeah. Is, I guess, my point.
But here's my question with that. Do you think that Margaret knows something about the baby?
Oh, of course. Yeah, I think Margaret knows. Yeah.
Because she seemed surprised in that moment.
Margaret
did? She's pregnant.
That she seemed surprised that Rachel was pregnant.
I'll go with you there. Yeah, she's kind of like, you're pregnant. Like.
Maybe she's.
And if you're pregnant, there is a big reason why you are.
Maybe she knows what happens if a returned is pregnant, but
maybe
she didn't know until that moment that there was a pregnant woman that had returned.
Yeah, I wonder what the importance of that is.
I have to wonder. I mean, it's sort of the
Margaret knows. Tell us, Margaret.
It's almost like a baby Jesus in a way.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah. It could be like something that like that child raised could be like the beginning of a new religious movement or something like that. Or she could see it as the Antichrist because she thinks everyone is a demon. So she could think that she is that Rachel is carrying the Antichrist in her,
or carrying the end of what they started, what it started, or beginning of it,
yeah. I mean, we know that she survived, or our theory rather. I don't know if we talked about it here or just in the as we were watching, is that the baby saved her life. How do you guys feel about that?
You mean from the virus?
Yes.
I'm gonna go with yes. Only because...
Yes for 200.
Yes for 200. No, only because why did she survive and the others didn't?
Why are they back from the dead? I mean, we still don't know a lot of things. So.
No, totally. But the ones that have had the virus, I guess you could say male and female. But I think that would be a little... That's not the path that we're going to go down.
They would have... The government would have noticed that trend. Because they've had a lot of people. They said they lost like 70% or
right. That's what I'm saying. So I don't think it's going down that path.
And none of them were pregnant. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it has to be.
She's the only one who's pregnant. She's the only one that survives. It makes sense. It makes sense. But let's talk about Margaret. and her whole storyline with Mr. Brian Addison. We first come back to
date, call it the date night.
Yeah.
Strictly business.
Margaret takes a night out on the town.
Ooh-wee.
I
loved it.
We opened up on Henry finishing up the going over with Brian the monetary end of the deal, which he drops. It's going to be a lot just to start it up, not even to get the factory going, but just it's going to cost $1 million.
Yeah,
$500,000 each.
That's if they keep the same.
Bricks.
Bricks and mortar that they have already. If you want to keep that, then it's going to be this.
Yeah.
So and he really and obviously he wants to keep it.
He seems to, Brian.
Papa.
I mean, I feel like you have to know he's being suspicious when you're just like, no, modern business practices, forget that. We're going to use this crumbling old infrastructure that might be unstable, even though it's cheaper to do something else.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even fight it. He's just like, whatever you want to do, man. I know I'm investing $500,000 in this right off the bat, but whatever you want to do.
Yeah, and it makes sense because his grandfather's in the other room. You know, when they had this conversation, will you put money in their face? They'll come running. So it looks like he's about right because Papa Langston is like, let's do it. I can do it. No, how much? 500? Yeah. Oh, it's definitely possible. It's like, really?
But it seemed like I don't think of Henry Langston as being money grubbing. I don't think he's money grubbing, but I do think it's important to their family. Innately.
I also feel like I don't want to say the word that they're not smart, because I think that
the Langstons, you mean?
Yeah, I think
it's old school and simple.
Yeah, very simple in a way that creates vulnerability.
Trusting.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I know it didn't happen yesterday, but their son just came back, so it's like, I think that's also just piled on top of their just ability to believe, and they're like, he's going to come back, and then this wonderful investor is going to come in, and, it might be a lot of money. It's going to be
up and working in no time.
Yeah, but it's great. Let's put the money in. The factory's going to be beautiful and brand new and blah, 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 blah. And they're like, okay, done. But with a decision that big, normally you would sit down and say, okay, well, let's look at these numbers and let's look at this option, or maybe another investor, and that's obviously not what's occurring whatsoever.
Yeah, you think so? I agree with you. They're pretty simple and just simple people, and not in a negative way. Just maybe naive to a lot of things that are out. Yeah. Yeah,
it makes sense. But so.
And then Grandma walks in. Margaret walks in.
Yeah, she walks in.
And
she's
stirs
like,
the pot a little bit.
I'm the one in charge here. Basically, is what she's saying. Like, whatever you have to do, you can deal with me. And then when Henry walks away for a moment, she takes Brian aside.
Chummy, yeah.
Who do you think initiated the dinner?
She did.
She said that he invited her, but I don't buy it.
Well, I mean, with him being as interested in her as he seemed to be at dinner, he may have. He did say, no, I want to know about you. Yeah. So I was like, well, look at him throwing game.
But do you think his intentions are genuine, or do you think that they're only because of his grandfather?
I think you answer that question. Go.
No, I'm interested. Go. Both, one of you.
No, she wants to know what I have to say. Well, what I was going to say is, no, honestly, I think he genuinely is interested in her. And that's why he kind of got a little lost and brought her back to the house, because that was a stupid move. Right. If they are up to something, which he knows they're up to something. But, when a man is blinded by a beautiful woman, there's certain things he just forgets. I'm joking. There's certain things that he just forgets, he just kind of does his thing and takes her out and brings her back to the house. Like, are you stupid? So, of course, the younger grandfather comes in and says, I think you lost your mind. You may have ruined this deal, know? Yeah. So, I think he really likes her.
Yeah, I think what probably happened in the driveway in the house or whatever, I think she probably, manipulated him to where he thought that she made it where she basically asked him to go to dinner, right? But made it sound like he was the one that thought of it.
Yeah. Here's also the thing.
She's good at that. I'm sure.
Crafty.
She's so good. And since she's been introduced on the show, I've always said how much I really dislike her.
Yeah. But she's just
I'm
really
not
just
taking
like you,
I'm not taking that statement back. But I was just like, you know what? Actually, I think she freaking rocks. Don't get me wrong. I still think she's very manipulative, and I don't know if her intentions are the best.
They're not.
Right. They're not. But at the same time, man, she just rocks it.
See, women stick together by all means necessary. Like, you be a woman who kills people and makes them disappear, and women will always stick together and say she's amazing.
Yeah, no, she is. I mean, she's just wrapping all this around her fingers.
Yeah,
and, I mean, it doesn't matter who it is. She's just gonna go.
She'll jump in your dreams.
Yeah,
there was something different about her in this episode.
See,
and
I think so too.
I don't know what it was, or if it was a combination of multiple things. I felt like she was like her in terms of acting, and there was some. I felt like they changed the color of her hair a little bit.
Yeah, you were saying that.
You said.
I mean, I might be wrong, but there was something softer about her appearance. She was not nearly as harsh as she's felt, and there could have been. That could be the lighting,
could be makeup, could be anything.
It could be like her appearance. It could be the writing, or just the acting and directing. Or just all of them together. There's something definitely softer about it, and I think it was intentional. If she's maybe progressing a little bit, maybe she's.
I think she's putting the mojo on you now because she's still scary to me. But I think everyone would agree that she always has this scary voice and this scary way of walking in the room.
It's just so monotone.
Yeah. So if you're getting, a little distracted by that, or you think she looks
she's
sweeter,
winning you.
I've been taken in.
Margaret will take you down.
But yeah, there was something different about her anyway. And so when she goes to dinner and she's being very honest, we learned a lot about her backstory. She was married off against her will at 17 to a 40-year-old man, 38 or whatever it was. It was basically 40. No. Dude, divide by 2, add 7. You're breaking the rules there.
Yeah. And
what
she finally
rule?
You don't know that rule?
Oh, it's supposed to be the youngest you can date, take your age, divide it by 2, and add 7. So if you're 30,
oh please,
you can date a 22-year-old and no younger. That's supposed to be the rule.
Got it.
Like, that's just a general guideline. So if he's 38,
it should keep you out of jail.
No one under 26.
Yeah, that's creepy. I mean, and then she finally she says, the guy says, Brian says, so you loved him? He says, no, I didn't love him, but I learned to love him.
No.
It's like, wow. Like,
and she gave him 2 sons, referring to Henry and Fred,
an heir and a spare. Yeah.
Wow.
She's awful.
Ooh. She's called Fred the Spare.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh. And
that's true.
He probably feels that way. That's probably why he had so many issues. Like
the heir and a spare. Oh man.
Because Henry got it all. He got his lovely wife, and I mean, he lost his kid, but he at least for a little while, he was running the factory. He was he had it all, and then Fred, like, his wife was cheating on him.
Yeah.
Do you think she meant that in a mean way, or do you think that was just a...
No, I think it's her personality. I think that was just such a comment of her personality. I don't necessarily think that was something that they wanted you to delve into or to analyze. I think that's just so true of her character. Like, that's just such a Margaret comment to make. Because what mother says that, And she
I gave him
like,
2.
Here.
You gave him 2.
Yeah.
Like, man.
An heir and a spare. Like, no mother says that, So I don't know. I don't think it was necessarily. I think it was true to her character.
I thought it was nice to see Margaret kind of toned down a little bit at the dinner with Brian, because she didn't seem like she was up to anything. The moment that I saw that she was up to something was when she got to the house and she started creeping around the house and actually found what she was looking for, which is, who is this guy? I've never heard of the Addisons,
Right.
But I think for once I saw her kind of chill. And maybe she liked the guy. I don't know. She seemed a little kind of standoffish a little bit. Yeah. But and Brian felt like he wanted more. But it was nice to see Margaret just go on a date.
Yeah, I think she was definitely on her guard in terms of, like, she's like, I don't know what to think of this guy. I've never heard of the Addisons. I don't know who these people are. But I think she genuinely liked him. She was having a good time.
Why didn't she take Walter with him?
To the business?
Yeah. To the meeting.
You mean
to dinner?
Henry. Okay. I was like,
Walter.
Did I miss something?
Yeah.
No. You know what? She probably, if it was really a business dinner, I was surprised he didn't ask.
Oh, yeah.
Like, why Henry wasn't like, why are you going to a business meeting for my deal.
I expect her to manipulate him,
me.
but for him to say that.
No,
Yeah.
he is so submissive to his mother.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not going to say, hey, Ma.
Can I come too?
Yeah, no, he knows. He knows his place in that.
That sucks. He knows his place. He's just older than her now, but he.
But so she's definitely, when she spots that picture though, she knows exactly who it is. The man
And she does not get out of there fast enough.
She's just.
I mean,
You're right. Yeah.
She would have loved to just slide out without him coming back.
I know she ran out like it was like a one night stand. Like
she's like, I mean, I gotta go.
She ran out of there like they were like she found out they were cousins, and she's just like, nope, shut it down.
Nope,
getting
you're not
out
getting
of
none
here.
of this. You're not getting none of this Langston juice. You're not getting none of it. Oh man, she was out of there, and she had that flashback of that memory or that dream
of that guy burning.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Of course
that was crazy.
Yeah.
But then, of course, after all that, she decides she needs to go see Rachel. What do you think her
intention,
motivation is there? Like, what do you guys think she wants?
If finally, I don't know what she wants. I can't predict anything on Margaret's end. That woman is just.
She got issues.
Yeah.
We all have issues.
That was good. Touche.
Well done.
Margaret. I don't know exactly what she wants, but I think after that, like, it brought back the dream, and the pieces kind of started falling, and she just wanted to start to place them. So I guess naturally the next step would be to go to Rachel, because that's kind of it was. And
I guess she doesn't know Rachel, so she wants to confirm that she's not nuts.
She said something like, "I wanted to see if you were real."
Yeah.
But I also
think that was genuine.
I do think that was genuine. But when she walked in, she didn't say, "I'm Margaret." You know, there was no introduction. I believe, like, she asked Margaret asked, she's like, "Rachel, is that you?" or whatever she says. But Margaret never said, "I'm Margaret, I'm so-and-so." They just knew.
From that dream. It's you.
Right.
Yeah, that's what she said. Yeah.
Well, they effectively met. It's just like confirmation. And
in the dream, did Rachel say her last name?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
I wonder how she found her at the hospital so easily.
There's not. It's a small town.
And
Rachel?
How many returned Rachels that are pregnant that have a virus are there?
Come on.
At least
Put
one
those
or two.
together.
But the big, in terms of our mythology, the big drop that they have there is that she asks, "Can you feel him?"
He's angry.
Margaret says,
she said, I can feel him. Yeah.
He's very, and Rachel knows that, so that they can not only sense that he's there without ever meeting him. It's not like Jacob knew when, where Caleb was.
Right.
They know that there's a person there. They have a sixth sense about this return. And I wonder if that's expanding, because originally it was just Jacob who could do that. Now it's at least 3 people that we know of. Do you think that's going to grow?
Yes.
I think it could go in such a way that they start to be able to, like, what if they form like a hive mind? Like they all start to interconnect in a way.
No, I think that they already are interconnected.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. But I'm saying, what if it reaches the next level and they can, like, actually just communicate with each other?
Yeah,
I don't know, but you and I have very different minds. So, like, I would never even.
He's already in your mind.
Yeah, right. He probably is.
I get this ideas from personal experience.
I know. Well, I mean, they're already in each other's dreams. Yeah. That's pretty amazing. Like, you were in my memory. You were in my dream. That's amazing.
That's
and we've never met before.
Right.
That's huge. That's pretty huge.
So
I wonder how and why that. I mean, not even how. We'll never know how, but why that happened. Why she was in her dream and not the other way around, or why there wasn't just why was it that connection? But I don't know what her intention was, except I think she was pretty curious. I don't know how many other dreams she's had. Maybe she's had this before, So
Someone
I mean.
else.
Yeah,
I don't think so, but I guess
she seemed pretty knowledgeable of it. Yes, you were in my dream, you were in my memory.
I guess my real question is, like, what is she doing? What her motivation now? Like, now that she knows that Rachel's real, knows that there's a pregnant returned, is she going to try to get rid of Rachel the same way that she got rid of Barbara, or is she going to protect Rachel Does she think Rachel's good or bad? And that's the big question. Her story up till now tells me that she thinks it's bad, but the look on her face at the end there tells me that she might see it as a good thing, like that this life could be a positive.
The baby's life.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely don't think. I also think just reading women's body language and just knowing like little stabs that they take. I mean, the second that they introduced Margaret and Barbara, like there was no chance that they were ever gonna like each other, or that they probably ever did. You know, when they were both living, that relationship never existed. Was never gonna go to a good place. But I think in the somewhat tone of Margaret's voice and just how she approached her, Rachel, I do think that it's more so in a positive way, as opposed to like, how am I going to make her disappear? Like, how am I going to make her leave?
When she first walked in there, like creeping in the room, I said, oh man, Rachel's going to die now.
Bye, Rachel.
Yeah, I really did think that.
Bye,
but then
Felicia.
they started, bye, Felicia.
Bye.
But then I really saw her actually intrigued with her, I felt, you know, and which was a kind of a reiteration of in the dream when she says, oh, she seems so excited about the baby. So as if it was a new beginning or something like that, or the Messiah was on its way. Yeah, you're right. That's the way I felt
it'll be interesting to see as we go forward. But before we go forward, I want to take a quick moment, talk to you guys about iTunes.
My favorite moment of the show.
Well, tell me, what do you guys think iTunes really makes a difference here at AfterBuzz TV?
You go.
Oh, iTunes makes a huge difference here at AfterBuzz TV.
You see that face?
Do you see this face?
That is a face you can trust, guys.
I wouldn't go that far.
I wouldn't go that far.
But I definitely would say I agree. It's so much fun not only to read comments, but when you guys say the things you say, I know they're honest, because we've had some funny ones, we've had some mean ones, we've had some really interesting ones that gave us more information. So we love the ratings that you give.
and we love to hear your guys' theories, and we want to know what you think of the show. So, and the best way that you can help us out, help AfterBuzz out as a whole network, is to go onto iTunes and hit us with a review and a comment. I want to know this week, I want to know what you think Margaret's end game is. Is she trying to get rid of the return? Right. Is there something more going on? What does she want with Rachel's baby? Tell us in the comments on iTunes and also on YouTube if you want to get into more of a conversation. But we'll read out your theories next week if you drop them on iTunes. So thank you guys so much. And
we have fun reading those. We really have fun.
No, I really do.
Yeah, it's a blast hearing from people and their theories about the show and the panel. What?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on in this panel, and I know you guys have noticed the marriage between Zach and his mustache has obviously they've obviously separated.
The divorce papers are signed.
Sadly, the mustache had to go. I've exposed skin that hasn't seen sunlight.
You look like a baby. So
it does look like a baby.
Those of you listening, I normally have a full beard. Last week I had a mustache for November. Then I messed up shaving, and now I'm completely clean shaven.
Now you're completely 16 years old. Yes. Well, I mean, I think that's half the crowd, but the other half is going, yay, he looks great. I think he looks great. I think you look good.
Well, thank you. But let's talk about somebody who actually looks really, really good. And this little power couple, Maggie and Bellamy.
Oh, not us. We're just kidding. Jokes. Hashtag LOLs. I don't think they're a power couple right now. I think they're...
Well, not now. Not yet.
No, they're not. And if I was Maggie, I'd be super pissed too. Don't lie about anything, let alone that you returned from the dead.
Yeah.
So...
They will be a power couple. They will be a power couple. But I think that Marty, is now he's out of the closet or the coffin. That now he can actually So now they can really have a good conversation. They can share a beer together and actually flirt and talk. And it's nice for Rachel to say to him, for Maggie to say to him, you can trust me, and you haven't been trusting me, and that's the truth.
I love that she called him out, but to loop back in the front, I mean, Pastor Tom put Marty in the worst position.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he just threw him under that bus and shoved him under the wheels because...
See Marty's face? He was like...
Yeah, he's like, no. And then I think Pastor Tom, he did Yeah, that's exactly. He tried to retract it a little bit, but at that point there was really no turning back.
Yeah, I mean, Tom basically, what did he say? He was like, Marty knows, just ask him.
Yeah, and then
how would Marty know?
Marty definitely knows. Yeah. Oh, wow.
But like,
come on, bro, put me under the bus.
Yeah,
like,
I thought you guys
dang.
were supposed to have each other's backs, bros before hoes.
I think I even shouted at the TV. I was just like, "Tell her already, you dick."
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think I even wrote down in my notes. I wrote finally.
Yeah.
When he did tell her, but at the same time as like I wanted him to tell her, and it was time. It was past time. I feel like it is a little bit unfair of Maggie to get very mad at him. Like she could be annoyed.
Nope.
My thing is that this is like, I compare it to like, gee, you made it was more of a joke, but you're talking about coming out of the closet. If we it is very comparable to coming out as gay. Like it's a big thing. There's unrest in the community that could be used against you.
That's
it can
true.
affect his work life as well as like his home life. He doesn't know how she's gonna react to it. It's somebody who's very close to. So the parallels are there.
Okay, so let's draw the same parallel. If someone like me who loves all people, right? All shapes and colors, sexes, preferences, all that, right? And they have been keeping something even like that from me, right? I would have the same, for that long when we had a deep conversation, deep relationship, or deepening relationship like Maggie and Marty, right? I think I would still be like, come on, like, why didn't you tell me? You can trust me. You don't trust me. I don't know. She went in on him a little bit, but I definitely would say the same thing. You can definitely trust me. This has not changed the way I feel about you, no matter what your sex is or your preference is. So I think even with that parallel that you made, there's still the other side of it, which is we were friends and we trusted each other, I thought.
Yeah, I guess.
And now I see you haven't this whole time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I guess my feeling on it is that it's only been like we've been watching this show for a while, but he only found out a week ago.
I just don't think that it matters.
I guess it's just he's barely had time to come to terms with it. So to tell anybody else is a huge step. Like imagine like
outside of the immediate circle. Yeah. I think that he could have told her. I think if there's anyone to know, I would think her before Pastor Tom.
I think she has a right to be like annoyed, like you should have told me.
Right.
You can trust me. Like realize, and almost like scold him a little bit. But I think like when she walks away, like storms off very angry. To me that was stronger than it needed to be because he should have told her it was past due. Yeah. But that's a really difficult thing to talk about when he has barely had time to process it. Like. The idea that you died in the 30s and then died again a week ago or 2 weeks ago.
It's a bomb to drop, but I mean, I guess all I can say is they both lived through that experience realistically. So I'm glad they did.
Yeah.
Because they made it right. I mean, no one was wrong, I think. I think they both did what they were supposed to do. If he didn't feel comfortable, he didn't say it. She felt like they should have been able to be close enough to get this kind of information. It's perfect drama.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, it's perfect.
No, it's a great thing, and I think Maggie will come back and
she did
talk with him again. Yeah.
Oh, she did. They're getting drunk together now.
I just think it's going to be okay.
Right now, they're drinking.
Yeah, they're drinking.
They are cheersing those.
That's
beers.
right. They had a nice tall one. And beer solves everything.
It does.
Yeah.
Don't start. I thought you were going to say something that would get you in trouble, but he's not doing that. Moving on.
I can't even remember what I was gonna say.
Exactly.
Just ask. But either way, but let's talk about Ray and Carl. There's a big movement forming in the town.
Yeah.
Ray is like at the beginning we get him like recruiting.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think really simple, short, and summed up. It's gonna be a disaster. I think that these men are they're bad news.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand, I guess, in a sense, like where they're coming from, they want him gone, but just plain and simple, like this is only the beginning, and it's going to be a huge movement on there, and that's really going to shake up the town, and I just don't think it's going to be pretty.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a civil rights movement going on.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like,
it's crazy.
Very much like a KKK thing,
with
the X, like on the doors, and it's just going to it's gonna blow up to a really bad situation.
Yeah, I got really big KKK vibes in that. Just the unadulterated hatred, where they're just like, I want this town back the way that it was. Like that's very much it
and
screams
like cheering that he killed someone. It's just
they're like proud of him.
They weren't human anyway.
Yeah, they weren't human. They weren't a real person.
Right.
It's totally fine to kill him. It's gonna turn into a lynch mob really quick.
Yeah, if it hasn't already.
And we saw what happened the last time. That's exactly where it escalated. They were hanging people. It's gonna be a scary time.
It's getting hot.
It's gonna get intense, and but I want to see that on the show.
Yeah.
I want to see the town have to deal with that kind of intensity rather than the little like protests and annoying
Picketing.
Helen Church lady making like
it's getting real. Like the thing that was under the surface is now starting to come up, and it's nice. It's nice to
finally
see.
starting to boil up, and it's
drama.
because Ray got sick. Is really like this is why they went from like that small group of people like in the restaurant and then the house to a filled room with tons of people, because what if they can all get sick because Ray's got the virus? Part of me thinks Ray died and hasn't returned and hasn't told anyone.
I was waiting for you to get to predictions, and you just jumped on in there, and that's what I was going to say too.
All right, let's jump into predictions. We got to wrap up here quickly anyway.
Ooh.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV.
I feel like all the lights should flicker. Like we should be in the darkness for predictions.
I think all lights should go off. It
For
should just be those flashing.
Nothing but your words to guide you.
So your prediction was that you think that Ray's possibly
I think Ray died at some point recently. He's been way more cognitive this season. Last season he had a lot of trouble like communicating. Elaine needed to help him, but he's been very clear-headed. And we know that coming back from like when they're returned, they get a lot of things that had been hurt in the previous life are healed. That could include the brain. If he had if he had a mental impairment or like head trauma. I had to point at my head to
that you know where the brain
shoulders,
was.
knees, and toes.
Yeah, I totally agree. I thought that he was a little more aware and functioning and socially connected than he was before, and so I agree. I don't think that it's seeping into the living yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
What else do you guys think is coming down next week? Few weeks come. We're not going to be back for
2 weeks. November
2
30th.
weeks. November 30th, right after Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Oh, we hear everyone. I hear everyone saying, "Oh, I hear it. I hear it."
We miss you too already.
Yeah. Yeah. We talked about that a lot. There it is. There it is.
Well, what do you
all
guys?
6 of them. Yeah.
I don't know what else I have. Honestly, I'm just still kind of stuck on Grandma. I'm just really excited to kind of see. I mean, I think she's going to be a ringleader, honestly, of the rest of this season. So just to kind of see what she's stirring up or what path she's going down.
Yeah.
Or she's like splitting in the middle. I want to see her character, where we go with her.
I wonder if we're going to see a sort of weird battle between her and this lynch mob.
Of course.
But like they both almost have the same end. They want to get rid of the returned. But she has a very peaceful approach to it now. They're just going to go around. They want to go around killing people or rounding them up, putting them in camps or whatever. And so I wonder if she's going to be the unlikely person to come out and stop them.
Right.
Essentially saving those people that she's trying to get rid of.
I think there's going to be a lot more return than we know of. So I think I think when they start to come after them and they're putting the X's on the doors, I think they're going to find that there's some people who are returned that they never knew were returned.
And then it's going to hit them in a different way.
Right. I think they'll find out that Ray was actually a returned. I think they'll find out, because Ray was sitting there in that chair just listening the whole time that...
No, but because I think he was
already
dead.
gone.
He was already like...
Yeah, I think he was done the whole time.
Yeah, tripping. So, yeah, I think that a lot of people are going to come out, and then Marty's secret is still kept, but I think that will come out too. So
soon enough, yeah.
I think there's a lot more return that have been functioning with the rest of the living. So that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see. And I'm excited. We'll be back in 3 weeks, right?
November 30th.
Yeah, 3 weeks from now we will be back.
I'm gonna miss
2
you.
2 weeks off.
I'm just letting you say that now.
But so we'll say it now.
You too.
All of you guys have a lovely Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And we will
Happy
see you soon.
And bring back some leftovers. We want some.
Yeah, bring back the leftovers.
Yeah.
On HBO coming next year.
Good one.
Yeah. That's another show that I host here. It's the leftovers, like the darker, more like messed up this show. Anyway, Chelsea Briche, where can people follow you for these 3 weeks that we're off?
I know, I'm really gonna miss you guys. You guys can follow me at Briche, CBRICHE.
And you can go to my website, which is gmadisonlive.com. You can send me some messages there. I'm on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook. You can send a pigeon to give me a message that way too. You can do all of the above.
And you guys can catch me on Twitter at @ZachWilson, ThatzachWilson. And also here at AfterBuzz, I got a ton of shows, some good ones coming up this week. We've got a fun interview with Headless himself on Sleepy Hollow, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Grim, thank you all for tuning in. I'm Zach Wilson, and thanks for geeking out with us.
Bye, guys. See ya.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.